Good morning, guys. This is just gonna be a little bit of a short introduction because I recorded the audio for this video probably about 6 months ago. So it's pretty old. I don't exactly know how I've spoken it or what information I put in it. Pretty sure I didn't speak about every single itty bitty juicy detail of this story time. If you haven't seen by the title of this video, it is a story time. Anyway, just a couple of little disclaimers before we jump into the really old voiceover. One, the person that I'm talking about, or people that I am talking about, I've changed their names for obvious reasons, so there's that. I would like to let you guys know not to try and find out who this person is or try to find the person. Don't ask, just know it's a person in my life. Obviously my thoughts on it right now are very different to my thoughts that I had on it when it all went down. So this is something that I wanted to get out last year for the end of 2019 to kind of just put all that crap behind me, but I never ended up finishing the artwork for it, which I'll get to that in a second. So I'm just going to put it out now, dispel it, get rid of it, and hopefully move forward with everything. The artwork, the character in this art illustration artwork, whatever you want to call it, it's not my character. I did not design this character. It is, however, mine. I do own the rights to this character as I bought it as an adoptable. I will not say who I bought it from because that's just putting too many hints together. I did not design it. The artwork, however, that is being created for this character, the background, the positioning. But yeah, no, not my character, but my artwork. And well, it is my character, but it's not my design. I did not design it. Anyway, that's all out of the way. Now you can listen to my 6-month-old stale crusty voice. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know in the comments if you've ever dealt with stuff like this before, and I will see you guys in the next video. Hello everyone, today's video is going to be a bit new for my channel. If you haven't already guessed by the title, I will be telling you all a story. Obviously, I'll be changing the names of the people involved, so let's get into the video. The rise and fall of friendship. Sound familiar? I'm sure most, if not all of us, have had that friendship, one we held extremely dear to us, just to have it thrown back in our faces. This is how I felt after the events that transpired. I'd been friends with a girl for about 7 years. We will call her Melanie. Originally, we became friends because of our shared interests in drawing, making things, music, and cooking. At the time I became friends with Melody, she was dating a guy. We'll call him Tim. There were a few scenarios Melanie had told me about in our first few years of friendship that had occurred between her and Tim. These would be Tim being physically violent with her as well as playing mind games. I addressed my concern for her at the time because no one should be treated in such a manner, but she assured me that he got it back. Melanie, to me, is a very strong person, and so I was happy knowing that she wouldn't let it slide. One situation I was told about was that Tim would tell her that he would sleep with other girls he had met at work. I believe this is something that hurt Melanie the most. After about 4 years of amazing friendship, we hit our first wall. One day, Melanie stopped talking to me. I soon found out it was because Tim had basically banned her from being my friend because, according to him, I was a bad influence, despite never actually meeting me. And from what I heard about him, I didn't really want to. I tried talking to her and wrote her a letter, but they didn't help. Eventually, I came up with the idea to write her a song and serenade her into being my friend again. And that actually worked. Moving along to our second blockade in our friendship, and I made a short-term friend. We will call her Holly. Melanie, Holly, and I followed the same religion and decided to research more about it together. On these occasions, Melanie had confessed that Tim had gotten more violent and controlling of her. It was at this point Melanie realized the relationship she was in was toxic and wanted to create some distance between them. After a while of this, along with Holly and myself supporting Melanie's decisions, Melody had done a complete 180 on us. I believe Tim Tim had somehow manipulated Melanie again. This time, however, Melanie got angry at Holly and myself, calling us disgusting names and accusing us of trying to split Melanie and Tim up. I would like to state here that neither Holly or myself told Melanie what to do. We expressed our concerns as friends and supported Melanie's decisions. After this blew up, I decided to give Melanie her space because I believe she was smart enough to figure out Tim's manipulation. A year passes and I get a message from Melanie, apologizing and wanting to hang out. She was surprised when I forgave her instantly, and she explained why she flipped out quickly on myself and Holly. I won't go into detail about her personal reasons, because I don't think that's my story to tell. And so, this now brings us to our final split. Melanie wanted to be more involved with people, and so I invited her to sit in on a gaming group I was a part of. Now, I spent too long telling myself that if I didn't invite her, then none of this would have happened. But I have to stop blaming myself for others' choices and actions. After Melanie joined in the first game, about a week later she started dating one of the guys in the group. We'll call him Frank. Honestly, I thought Frank and I got along really well. He's a very caring and compassionate guy. I started to notice the interactions between the two, and I dismissed it as them just getting along, because if it was going, then surely my best friend would tell me. But Melanie didn't. As their interactions progressed, it felt like Melanie would be picking Frank over me, and that we were drifting apart, along with Melanie choosing to do things with Frank that we used to do together and proceed to tell me how much fun they had without me. It hurt. I felt second rate. So I started to panic and asked her if anything was going on between them. She lied and told me it wasn't a thing, yet continued to act like it was in front of my face. Eventually, she told me, and I thought I would be fine. But I wasn't. I regarded Melanie as my soulmate, and felt as though I had been replaced and disregarded. Melanie had been distancing herself from me since the beginning of joining the game group, no longer wanting to talk or help when I was upset. She said she can't talk to me about issues I was having because she had a disability. I honestly think that was just an excuse. In attempts to salvage what was once an amazing friendship, I asked both Melanie and Frank separately if they could cool it down a little in front of me at games, which was only once a week, while I processed and tried to work through my anxiety. This was something that really affected me negatively, and I wanted to get past it. I'm not sure if they didn't realize the struggle I was going through, and after Melanie had given me a reason as to why I couldn't share my feelings with her, or they just didn't care. They both declined my attempt to make things work, and I was angry and upset at Melanie for once again choosing a guy over our friendship. Only this time, it was a friendship of about 7 years, being trumped by a relationship of a few weeks. I felt betrayed, abandoned, and used. Melanie had left this bad taste in my mouth, and that caused me to become bitter and nasty towards them. After a while, I realized I shouldn't have acted in such a way and apologized to each of them. Neither one of them accepted my apology, and that leads us to here. I've come to realize that I relied on my best friend to be there, when I couldn't rely on anyone else. And I was more than willing to return that love and trust. I'm okay now, and at a place where I no longer feel bad because I owned up to my mistakes, even if it didn't progress anything. I'm sorry if this is a bit of a long video, but now that I've finally gotten this out in the open and off my shoulders, I can officially move on to bigger and better things, including the people I choose to be in my life now. Thank you all so much for watching, and I hope to see you guys in the next video. Bye!